This episode is powered by DENmeditation.com. Though meditation is the primary focus, the bigger goal is for people to understand and love themselves, thus creating more harmony in the community at large. To find out more about Den Meditation's teacher training programs, retreats, and all things Den Meditation, go to DENmeditation.com. Welcome to DENtalks Podcast. This is Tal, your host and the founder of Den Meditation. Welcome to February's forecast. I hope you guys are liking these forecasts. Before we get into it, I wanted to let you know that next Friday, February 9th, we are dropping our next season. So make sure you are subscribed or get ready to listen. It's going to be an incredible season. We have a bunch of great episodes coming, different interviews. We're still interviewing. So if you have ideas, let us know. But in the meantime, we have an incredible guest today. We have Jennifer Freed. She's an amazing astrologer. She's also on the next season as well. She gives us an incredible report for February. She walks us through it in such a great way with awesome advice that is very practical. So if you can listen and hear, I think you're going to ride through February with flying colors. So here you go. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting us know what's in store for February. I appreciate it.
February is going to be a banger. So
God.
we got to all get prepared. And I'm always optimistic about what's possible with really challenging cycles because it's up to us. It doesn't happen to us. We're in divine partnership. So let me lay it out for you and then you can ask questions, okay?
Yes, please do.
We start off February with Mercury, Venus, and Mars in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. That is, get your S together, get your organization together, get your feet grounded, know what your goals are, keep your word to yourself and others. Capricorn is all about integrity and walking the walk, okay? That's the first week. Well, you better tie that down because then what happens starting just, week after February is we have Pluto, the planet of just intense power and transformation, good and bad, squaring Mars. Mars is the action planet. It's the aggression planet. It's the lust planet. So when you have a tension between Pluto and Mars, you're working with the most extreme energy of will for the good or will for the bad. So that goes on till the middle of February. Then we have Jupiter with Mars, which is the acceleration and expansion of that aggressive energy toward whatever. And then we finish with Uranus with Mars, which is basically incredible dynamism with instability, change, and innovation. So Mars is the key player, and then these outer planets make these aspects. So when you're looking at February, each and every one of you, you want to start feet on the ground, extremely organized, very practical, sober as best you can, because you want to be ready for the roller coaster ride that's going to be the rest of February. It could be in your own life. It could be on the world stage. There's just no doubt there's going to be a big wave of intense, dynamic change, enlarged energy.
Wow. Okay. So a lot happening in February. Talk a little bit more. I love how you're telling everyone, okay, so start organized, get your shit together, whatever goals you might have, like just be ready to accomplish them. So talk about that next week when you were talking about Pluto in tension with Mars.
So because I've studied this for 40 years and I've gone through Pluto square Mars before, just picture it like a rag that's being squeezed, like just absolutely twisted. Now, if you're twisting to get all the dirt or extra water out and you can really twist, you're going to feel released and elimination is good for you and you're going to feel this kind of intense core power. However, if you are the rag and you're being squeezed, that feels horrible. Now, we already know enough to see all the tension that's mounting politically in the world, aggression everywhere. This particular middle of February with Pluto square Mars is going to be a big spotlight on how people are handling or mishandling aggression.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's actually really interesting. So it's kind of like all this stuff that's been happening for a while. It's like, it's almost forcing people to maybe reset how they look at things.
Yeah, and I can tell you the opportunity here is heroism, whether you're any gender, it doesn't matter. But Pluto square the Mars can bring out, I would fight for you to my death without even a thought. And I don't mean fight like even physically, but just energetically. What are we committed to? What are we standing for? And if we're really aligned with the divine of our knowing, it won't be an aggression at somebody. It will be on behalf of a noble idea.
And so then even on the smaller scale, if it's like just your idea or something you're organizing or where you are in your life, if you can handle that week of kind of the squeezing, but you are on the right path, you're stepping into your true power, you're actually doing what you're meant to do, then ultimately it's going to lead you, like you said, to a cleaner, freer place.
Completely. And the way I would work with it, if it were in my experience, is don't get into power struggles. Don't try to be the alpha on the block. Work with the concept of everybody's right, go toward transformation. So the ego has to die in this to serve the higher vibration.
I mean, that's interesting. Everybody's right for the sake of transformation.
Yeah. I mean, one of the problems, you see it, I see it, we have gotten into extreme positionality. Extreme. And as long as I have a position that negates your position, I'm at war with myself because you're part of me. So it doesn't mean I have to agree with you, but at least I have to see you, honor you, respect you, because everyone has a perspective and everyone's right based on their own experience. Everyone's right.
I completely agree with you. And I also agree. I think that's been a huge problem that's been happening with us since the pandemic, basically, and has only intensified. Do you feel like what's happening in February then is if you do not kind of hold that perspective, you will be the rag that gets kind of squeezed, and then eventually it's pushing us all to get there?
Well, there is no such thing, so I want to keep demystifying this, is there is no triumphant, we will all get there.
Right.
There's, will we get there? Because we are choosing. So we're in divine partnership. We can just as easily blow this planet up as make it heaven on earth. There is no foregone conclusion. We are making it every day with our thoughts, deeds, feelings, dreams, actions. So February's a tough one. It can be a great motivation to put things in the right direction, like really put them in the right direction. But it's going to take a lot of maturity because the temptation with Mars always is act now, think later. Act now, who cares what the consequence is? So, for example, I notice for me online, I get a lot of hate, I get a lot of judgment, I get a lot of stuff. I never respond. I just delete. There's no point in engaging the lower vibration. And there's no point in arguing other people's lower vibration. None.
Right.
What we put energy toward grows. Everybody has to be mindful of that. If you're online saying, if you don't do this, you're an asshole. And if you think this, you're, well, that's your reality. You're living it.
So do you feel like that's, I mean, it should always be the mantra, but do you feel like that's a specific kind of mantra for February?
Yeah, February, the best thing I can say to myself each and every day is it's not personal, even if I experience it personally. What I'm trying to remind people, my clients lately, is Every single thing that's ever happened's already happened 1,000 times to somebody else. So you happen to be in this situation having a personal experience, but life isn't actually personal. Everyone's in a learning laboratory. We're all going through it. We're all going to be tested. So if you can get the loving witness, the holy witness, and just say, noticing a lot of rage come up. Noticing a lot of anger come up. Noticing frustration. And don't identify with it. Keep breathing.
Talk about, for a moment, just like the timing of the fact that it's Mars, it is an opposition. It was opposition with Pluto.
No, squared.
Squared Pluto. Thank you. Then the next big aspect is Jupiter, correct? Coming in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So talk about, that's interesting because in like my mind, I keep feeling like it's almost really important how you step into yourself for these first couple of weeks, because after that, it's however you choose, like what you're saying, you get to make these choices. Don't make it personal, or don't like go towards that lower vibration. But if you do, can Jupiter really
magnifies wherever
exactly.
you're at. So let's say I'm making a pile of poo-poo. Jupiter will make it a mountain.
Right. So these first 2 weeks are important.
Yes. Let's say I'm making an extraordinary effort to surrender my ego on behalf of the higher good. Then Jupiter will give me so much encouragement to really keep growing in that direction.
Because I think that's an important thing to talk about, just the timing of that it really is. I love that you're doing this forecast. I love that people now know, really be mindful of how you're stepping into yourself for these first couple of weeks.
And the other thing is who's around you. If somebody's getting really into some kind of flight, fight, freeze kind of thing, just stay the center. Just stay calm. We're not going to rescue, fix, or problem solve anyone else. But if people are getting activated, don't step your foot on their foot.
That's interesting, because it sounds like people are going to get activated next month.
Yeah, they'll be activated. Well, I can get activated if I spend 2 minutes listening to the news right now. Everyone's going to be given the opportunity to see a lot of drama. Lots of drama in February.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, this has been, and then remind us, it ends with Uranus. Is that what you said?
Uranus with Mars, which is, let's say we went the high road. First, we have this intentional squeeze, death of the ego. Then we expand our growth upon that. Then the final Uranus with Mars is extremely innovative, optimistic change, like breaking through old patterns and being free. Uranus with Mars at its best is just liberation.
All right. Well, this is quite a February.
Yeah.
Drama.
Yeah. So, and it's like, I think my image of it right now is just strapping yourself into an extraordinary ride and remembering to breathe and scream, but not at anyone else. Just keep the energy moving, and then you can have the thrill of the ride. And also when you're done with the ride, you can feel very happy and lots of positive hormones.
Well, I am texting you somewhere in the middle of February to let you know how I did. Which path I'm on.
I'll be texting all my friends saying, remind me, don't kill the messenger. Yeah.
That's good, though. It's good to know that February is, it's always work, but February is going to be a month of some real, true work.
Yeah. And just to give your listeners a peek, April is the cornucopia, the fulfillment of so many of our dreams if we've teed it up right.
Okay. It's motivation.
So February, think of it like you're training for a marathon and you're getting in shape. And then March is more sustainability. And then April is, wow, if you've really trained, the mileage you can make in your own spiritual growth is unlimited.
I love that. That is amazing motivation if people need it. And I love that. That's a good thing. And it happens so fast. I mean, I feel like it just flies. So
Yeah. So I want to give one tip. My new deck, Cosmic Parenting's coming out in March. Everybody should get it that's a parent, because it's going to help them be a much more even-tempered, delightful, and delighted parent.
I need it like now.
I only have a couple of sample decks right now, but it's coming.
I will get it
as soon as I get more.
My child will thank you.
Yeah.
She'll write you a thank you note, I promise. Well, this was amazing. I appreciate it. A lot to look out for, a lot for people to be aware of, and a lot of work, it sounds like, for us to do, which I'm ready for the challenge. So I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tal. It's always good to see you.
You too. And thank you. And we're excited for your episode to come out soon. So everyone stay tuned.